Welcome back to Bazooka Kickboxing. In today's episode, I'm going to give you 3 of my favorite drills that I like to do for North versus South, Southpaw versus Orthodox. Boom! Let's get into 3 of my favorite drills that we're going to do for North versus South drilling. Make sure you watch last week's episode because it gives you different ways to block and to counter that Southpaw left kick. But in today's drill, we're going to start with a pad drill, which is going to open up the targets. In that North versus South, targets change, okay? And we're going to use different pad style to show you the inside, back leg, body, and head. The 4 different levels you could attack in that open stance. The second is about really utilizing your movement, and I call them zombie drills. One person walks forward, this way you can manage your distance, and when you fight that North versus South, you always hear people talking about always circling away from the power. So that's one strategy that we're going to talk about. And in the last drill, we're going to use one of my favorite drills, which is kicks versus punches. And in that North versus South, it's really going to be about that Southpaw left kick versus that right straight, or vice versa, power side versus power side in the open stance. Let's get to the drills. The first type of drilling that I like to do for that North versus South is what I call single pad holding. So the pad holder uses the handle and doesn't use the straps of the pad. This way it's really easy to change levels. So I like to use this because it's an easy way to actually catch and hold for low kicks instead of having to use your arm in different positions. For those who've been fighting for many years, you realize that through years of wear and tear, our elbows start hurting, forearms, wrists, hands. So holding this way is a little bit harder on the body. So this is why I prefer to use the single pad way. So before we get into the open stance, if I really want to land my power round kick, on right stance versus right stance or left versus left, doesn't matter, it's the same stance. You notice that my power round side has 3 main targets. I got my low kick, I have a body kick, and I have my head kick. And you can see the different ways Matt's holding for them. Okay? But now when you switch stance and now you're fighting to the open stance, you're going to notice that there's 4 main targets that you can land that rear power round with. Inside leg. I can step in even deeper now to attack the back leg. I have the body 3, and 4, I can go to the head. So it just opens up a 4th attacking area of target. So now the good warm-up in the drill is Matt's just going to flow with different areas. This way I'm just hitting and warming up all the different 4 targets from the stance. Okay, so we're going to flow with it. The second North versus South drill that I like to use is what I call my zombie drills. So I'm going to be the striker, Matt's going to be the zombie. And what the zombie does is he just really holds his hands to his head and works at different distances. So as Matt comes forward, the key is I'm always managing the distance of the range between the 2 of us. Okay, so as Matt can step, I could move, and I'm always circling and stepping. Okay, so right now we're just warming up the footwork. So I'm staying long. And again, with North versus South, it's important that you have good control of the lead hand. So while this drill is happening, you can see me circling and having control of that lead hand. That's what we call lead hand dominance. And at the same time, I'm slowly stepping to the outside. So lead hand and lead foot dominance, okay? This keeps this hand pinned, and then you want to work the rear straight. So when I'm comfortable here with my distance touching, I'm going to add my rear straight to it, continually circling. Okay? So this is the most basic strategy that you're going to have, is keeping control of the lead hand, stepping outside, circling away from the power. Now for those who are a little bit more advanced, it's not wrong to go towards the inside. If I'm stepping on the outside, it's usually nice to get my kicks, hit, and stay safe away from the power. But if I want to land a more effective right hand, I might step inside and then shoot my straight right down the middle. And you can see what's good about that shot is as I step in, I'll use that hand control. Now my right straight really breaks and centers their guard, and I could really attack that center line. Every good knockout is going to come when you break that center line. When you attack that center line with that straight, that's where you're going to get the knockout. So when I'm doing this drill with a punch-based focus, lead hand control, I hit the body, step in outside. Here, stepping, managing my distance. Staying long, step inside, boom. I find that inside, okay? Once you're comfortable with that, you start mixing the kick. And remember, we just warmed up the 4 different areas. Inside, step in deep, back leg. Touch, body, circle, head, okay? And then you can play, mixing all the different levels. But you can see here, I'm always keeping that lead hand dominance. Okay, another good weapon is that front kick. Okay, just mix them up. This is where you can really let your style unfold. Okay. One of my favorites, attack the inside, step in deep, attack the back leg. Okay, mix them up. Time. The third and final drill is one of my favorites, and that's punches versus kicks. And in this drill, Matt's gonna be the puncher, I'm going to be the kicker. So what I really wanna do is, as that rear straight comes out, I wanna be able to block it and kick underneath it. Ultimately, it's my job to use my kicks to shut down the offense in his hand. So as I see that rear straight coming, I'm kicking right underneath. I got a longer weapon. He's got a shorter weapon than I do, so this way I'm safer and I can stay back and still land that body kick really effectively. If he throws the jab hand, I can come in here, or even better, if I'm circling here, I can still come off and crack the body. And even if he does keep his arm down, that's great. I can step here, really crack, kick the arm, crack the shell. And there's been so many situations where, you know, you can break the boxer's forearm very easily. Okay, so the drill is, make sure you block the punches first and then counter with your kicks. Punches versus kicks. Okay? And the drill is really for the kicker, so just be slow, be patient, work up the pace. Okay? So making sure I'm waiting, I'm timing, boom. And then when he throws, I'm waiting for that straight. As that straight comes, boom. I'm timing, catching the punches, boom, boom, boom. Use my front kick, bang. And I can continually circle away from the power, wait for it, boom, boom. See, and you can see what I'm doing with my different timing in this drill, as I might throw and kick the arm because I'm anticipating that to come. So if I keep kicking it, he'll be hesitant to throw it. If he does throw it, I have that body. So as soon as that jab comes, okay, I react quickly, boom, kick the arm. Okay, now he hesitates, but if he lets it go fast, that's fine, boom, I get underneath and I finish that arm. Okay, let's put this drill in with a little bit more intensity. Go for it. There you go, 3 of my favorite drills that I like to use with North versus South drilling. First things first, block the kick. Watch last week's episode and learn the different ways to block them. We showed with the legs and I showed with the arms and different counters. But in this video, you had 3 different ways you can drill. That single pad drill is really important as a coach because you want to warm up those different areas. Some southpaws might be open more to the inside, some might more be the back leg, some to the head. So it's your job to try and explore those 4 different areas and try to set up your finish or try to find the strike that's landing the best. Okay, that second one really forces you to use your movement, that zombie drill. If they're pressuring, you have to move. If they're moving backwards, you have to close that distance in order to get the strike. And that one forces you to have to circle. So The one sets up the areas, zombie drill gets your movement and your distance control right, and the last one really works on the timing of north versus south. Like I keep mentioning, in the north versus south position, the rear side is the power side, the rear straight, the rear round kick. Circle away from it, get inside, and ultimately shut down their hands with the kicks. Just because we might be more kickboxing focused, we can use that strategies that the Thais use in kickboxing. We've seen it be so effective, again, time after time in kickboxing, okay? So make sure you keep following the drills, you keep learning Bazooka Kickboxing. Like, subscribe, hit that bell button, and learn as soon as the video comes out. We'll see you next week.